We live in a very dark meta for religious civs. If a civ can't put up decent commercial hubs or harbors for a free inquiry medieval era, it feels like they just can't compete. The Civ 6 competitive scene has never been more atheistic than it is now. In spite of this, one religious civ remains steadfast, unchanging, capable of keeping up with even the strongest of the godless heathens. They are the last religious civ. Welcome to the Arabia Civ Spotlight for multiplayer Civ 6 with a better balanced game mod. The first thing to understand... The first thing to understand about the standard build order for Arabia is that there are two standard build orders for Arabia. The first one is a very traditional opening for religious civs. We go for a religion with Feed the World or choral music as our first belief, and then choose a worship building as our second belief so that we can take advantage of Arabia's bonuses towards them. Our first golden age is monumentality so that we can faith buy civilian units. Simple enough. The second build order, however, is a fairly exotic, Arabia-specific strategy. In this one, we pick Jesuit education as our primary religious belief, also alongside any worship building belief of our choosing. This looks to take advantage of the fact that Arabia has a powerful, unique university which is unlocked extremely early at the theology civic instead of at the education technology. Since we'd be spending all of our faith on universities, we'd actually go for pen, brush, and voice as our first golden age dedication instead of monumentality, since we wouldn't have enough faith left over to buy civilian units. We'll start by examining a game played with the latter build order. The first thing you'll notice about our spawn is that we're squished between the ocean and the tundra. If we consult the spawn bias chart for all of the civs, you'll see that this is to be expected, as Arabia has no spawn bias at all. Still, we can work with this. As the cost of new districts scales with the number of technologies and civics completed, we rush to unlock astrology right away so that our holy sites will be dirt cheap. We open the game with 2 scouts, followed by a settler, followed by a holy site. Our second city also goes for a holy site right away. We place them both next to each other such that we will, in the future, be able to get campuses next to both holy sites. When playing Arabia, we want to cluster our campuses and holy sites together in a big pile in order to take advantage of the free adjacencies our civ bonuses grant to these districts. This civ doesn't lean particularly hard into any one specific pantheon. In this game, we decide to go for Lady of the Reeds and Marshes in order to take advantage of the ample floodplains we'll have in our second and third cities. After astrology, we rush straight for writing. Since we finished 2 holy sites already, we're able to get our first campus at a discount. District discounting is a whole complicated thing that I'll probably be making a video talking about in the near future. The time finally comes to found our religion, and we decide to go for the Jesuit education build. To complement this, we go for the Gurdwara building as our worship building belief. The extra food and housing this grants is important for getting our cities to 7 population quickly. When playing Arabia, we want to open the game with a holy site and campus first in nearly every city, so in order to get any other district down, which we really want to do, we'll need to get some 7-pop cities. The one exception to this holy site and campus first strategy is, of course, our government plaza. In this case, we place a government plaza down in our capital as it reaches 4 population. Our first governor is, as per usual on a religious civ, Moksha. Not only does he grant extra culture and faith, he also doubles the passive religious pressure from the city he's assigned to. This stacks multiplicatively with the extra religious pressure from our capital being the holy city for our religion, meaning all of our future cities will convert automatically extremely quickly. We went for Jesuit education as our religion, so we make sure to follow it up with pen, brush, and voice as our golden age dedication. Upon finishing political philosophy, we adopt classical republic as our government for the extra housing and amenities it grants to cities with a specialty district. After unlocking our government, we rush straight for the theology civic. This has 2 purposes. One is to unlock temples, which are a requirement to allow us to faith buy our worship buildings and unlock the massive amount of free stats our civ bonuses grant us. And 2 is to unlock our unique building, the madrasa. After we finish this civic, we rush to build temples in all of our cities right away. Getting these online ASAP is extremely important on Arabia, as we're able to buy our worship buildings dirt cheap in every city as soon as they have a temple finished. At this point, we also start spending our faith on campus buildings using the Jesuit education belief. One of the nice things about the madrasa is that it grants a substantial amount of faith per turn, allowing it to effectively pay for itself over enough time. Afterwards, like most civs, we rush for the feudalism civic so that we can gain access to the serfdom policy card and pump out some 5-charge builders. Because our land is so flat and we're working so many floodplain tiles, we actually make enough farms to get the inspiration for feudalism this game. We complement these farms with water mills, which in the Better Balanced Game mod grant +1 production to all farms in their cities. Now, it's finally time to start talking about Arabia's unique unit, the Mamluk. This knight replacement is an absolute beast of a unique unit. In Teamers, we could start pre-building heavy chariots at this point, relying on our teammates to trade us a ton of gold and iron so we could upgrade all of them to Mamluks as soon as we finish the prerequisite technology. However, this is a free-for-all game, and our gold return sucks on account of this build order. Therefore, we won't actually build any Mamluks at all, not yet. We need to wait until we unlock the Grand Master's Chapel, which unlocks the ability to faith purchase military units, before we can do any military shenanigans. To this end, we rush for the Divine Right Civic so that we can unlock the Monarchy Government. This is the earliest Tier 2 government we can unlock, and entering into it grants us the ability to build our Grand Master's Chapel. We get workers into position and use chops to speed up the rate at which we finish this building, because it's just that important. Around this point in the game, we enter our second golden age. We are only just now starting to build our harbors and commercial hubs at this point, so free inquiry will provide little to no science and isn't worth taking. Monumentality isn't looking super great either, since we still want to spend all of our faith on Jesuit education purchases and military units. Therefore, we choose pen, brush, and voice for some extra culture. We start preparing to push our neighbor. Our gold per turn is abysmal at this stage, so we need to hit them hard and fast so we can get some pillaging done to bolster our economy. To this end, we build an encampment, run a project so that we can get a great general, and faith buy a ton of Mamluks. Then, we send them at our unprepared neighbor to take a city by surprise. Of course, we're not going to be able to finish this guy off with Mamluks. We just need to blitz down a city so that we would have land to upgrade our units to cuirassiers using the professional army policy card for a discount, granting us the actual units we'll be using to finish off the kill. Once again, our gold per turn sucks, so this is only possible thanks to pillaging some mines and commercial hubs from poor old Pericles. This whole time, we continue faith buying more units in our mainland and sending them up to support the war effort. Our gold per turn is finally starting to stabilize, thanks to the fact that we're finishing some harbors and commercial hubs and sending some trade routes to our allies. After killing Pericles, we want to spread our religion to his cities in order to unlock the faith purchasing ability of Jesuit education. To do this, we enlist the help of the city-state of Vatican City, whose suzerain bonus causes all great people to exert an enormous amount of religious pressure whenever they activate their effect. A single general retiring is all it takes to convert every city, allowing us to start faith-buying buildings to our heart's content. Eventually, we agree to concede the game to our ally, Babylon, who is rapidly pursuing a science victory. They have a tech lead on us, and we don't have any cities with good enough production to finish the projects quickly, so we stand no chance of beating them to a science win. However, for a while afterwards, this game bothered me. We couldn't win science victory, but surely there was some way we could have tried to play for a win here. Fortunately for us, we'd soon get another chance. Buckle up, because in the next game we'll be looking at, we'll see how to actually close out a win as Arabia. Unlike in the previous game where we chose to go for Jesuit education coupled with pen, brush, and voice, in this game we'll be going for feed the world with monumentality. The reason why becomes clear as we look at our spawn. We have no fresh water available anywhere. We still want to be able to go for a holy site and campus first in all of our cities, so in order to reach 7 population without fresh water, we need feed the world. After reaching 7 pop, we plan to place down a ton of harbors. To round out our religion, we choose the belief which unlocks Dari Mars as our worship building. Since we're going for monumentality in our first golden age this game instead of pen, brush, and voice, this building will help to compensate for our otherwise low culture. Now, this spawn might look rather depressing on account of the lack of fresh water and the suffocatingly low room for cities. However, with a little bit of Herson magic and some help from a player giving up and refusing to defend himself when attacked, we're able to get ourselves an even stronger position than we achieved in the previous game. However, we have a bit of a similar conundrum to face. Our ally, Brazil this time, is going to beat us to a science victory if we try to race him, on account of our city struggling in terms of production. The solution? We go for a religious victory. We've already managed to convert both of our allies to our religion fairly easily. Earlier in the game, we evangelized into the beliefs cross-cultural dialogue and scripture in order to gain some extra science and spread our religion to our neighbors easier. This pairs well with Arabia's built-in bonus, which grants us science for every foreign city following our religion. We send over some units to convert Mongolia to our west, and then start our long trek to the east to convert the rest of the world. So, the question is, what's the most efficient use of faith for converting other cities? Should we buy apostles or missionaries? The answer is neither. The most efficient way to convert the rest of the world is to spend our faith on tanks and inquisitors, and conquer the rest of the world. By simply wiping out the remaining civs, we only have to worry about spending enough faith on inquisitors to keep our own religion as the majority religion in most of our cities. Very efficient! We get to work wiping out Spain and then move onwards to Mabande and Cree. Despite the fact that Brazil is launching space projects, they simply won't be fast enough to win science victory before we finish converting the rest of the world. Therefore, on turn 92, they agree to concede the game in our favor thanks to our inevitable religious victory. Ultimately, as Arabia is a civ that tends to struggle with getting high production, this religious victory through domination method is the best way to actually play for first. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to catch full games of Civ 6 live, be sure to follow me on Twitch, the link is in the description. I have a playlist with a bunch of general guides for Civ 6 multiplayer with a better balanced game mod, so be sure to check those out if you're looking to up your game. Herson, signing out.